What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Hip Hop Hazecast. I'm your host, Hayes, and this episode we're gonna talk about Kid Cudi. I got my man's Dev here. Say hi, Dev.
What up, guys?
And so he's gonna be talking about Kid Cudi, just his albums, how we think about them, his impacts for this generation, how it kind of shapes this generation of rappers and music in general. So we're just gonna hop into it. So, when did you start listening to Kid Cudi? Like when were you first introduced to him?
Um, well, I didn't get into music till like 2018, freshman year. Uh, and at the time I was like, I had a pretty basic taste, and then I started expanding on my taste. And so I would say about last year is when I first listened to Man on the Moon.
Got it. So I first listened to Man on the Moon and the second one yesterday because bro, I was about getting ready for this one. The only thing I listened to Cudi was Kid See Ghost. Um, so what role did he play in like just like your music taste? Like,
Well, he quickly became my favorite artist because at the time, I've never been like depressed or had mental issues, but like, he just makes those things that everybody goes through a lot easier. And at the time, I had a lot of stress with school, uh, stuff like that. So making that a lot. He helped the whole coronavirus. Quarantine is pretty stressful. Definitely helped me through that too.
yeah, personally, I haven't been like depressed or anything myself, but I've gone through like some tough times, and just from listening yesterday, I could definitely see like his audience, like what he was trying to go for, and how he definitely had an impact for those who went through the same things that he did. So let's jump into First Man on the Moon, his debut project. Um, what are your thoughts about it? Like, obviously, I see the canvas behind you.
Yeah,
Definitely
yeah.
probably one of your favorites.
It's actually my vinyl. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I have. It's my favorite project of all time. Like it's just, I'm not saying that it's the best music I've ever heard, but it's definitely the album I have the most personal connection with. You know,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
I think it's a very easy album to have that happen to people. Like it's just so easy to fall back on when you got nothing else.
Hmm. Yeah. So I had my first listen yesterday, and I was listening to it this morning too. And the theme obviously is just I love the story aspect, and where I watched a couple of like interviews and those videos, and how like the whole album's supposed to be like a dream,
Yeah.
and I really love the story element, common with the narrative, with like at the end of certain songs, he starts like narrating those things that's going on, and I really liked it. Start off with the intro into My Dreams. I thought it was a pretty decent intro.
It's actually my least favorite song on the album, believe it or
Oh,
not.
okay.
It
All
is,
right.
yeah. Uh, you know, favorite album of all time. I still love this song, and
Mm,
it works really well as an intro.
mm,
With the whole it works with the story, but when sound wise, it's my least favorite.
got you. So I thought it was a pretty decent intro. I like the narrating at the end. So it's just, and then we got Soundtrack to My Life, which was personally, I kind of like, I don't usually rank songs like numbers within album, but just like give me like, help me remember the songs. I kind of put like a number and little notes next to it. Soundtrack to My Life was probably my favorite song next to a couple
It's
others.
definitely up there, top three for me. And that's when I heard soundtrack to my life for the first time. That's what really opened me up to that. I felt really, you almost feel safe and comfort.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It was, I feel like it's a really good second, so like to like grab the listener's attention. Like it's just a great song in general, and I thought it was my favorite. So what others were like some highlights for you for this album?
Uh, Intergalactic is definitely a highlight for me. The chorus on that's just super catchy. It gets in your head. It's not like the
It
most
is really
healing
catchy.
song,
Hmm.
but like it's definitely just kind of a vibe to go. And then Alive is actually extremely underrated for me. I, I don't I don't understand how people can just like look over that song like they do. It's like the
I feel
beat is
like
just super spacey and
mhm,
and cool, and the chorus is super catchy too.
yeah, like for me it was from my it was one of the weaker songs, but it's still a really good song. I just feel like within the entire album, it's like in like the bottom half, but I still really like the song. It's a
I
really
think
good
it's
song.
actually top half for me. Uh, which is I guess it's a hot take. I actually think it's better than like My World, uh, songs like that. But my favorite song is Up Up and Away.
That's a
Uh,
really good.
yeah,
That
yeah.
was a really good closer.
That's like the song on the album you can just play over and over and
Hmm.
over again, and you never get bored because of just how much it just puts you in a better mood, you know.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, it's a
That's my
hella
favorite song of
versatile song.
Yeah, it's
It's
my
so
favorite song of all
versatile.
time. You can play it when you're happy, when you're sad,
Yeah.
angry, you know,
Hmm.
it just brings you to a neutral state.
Yeah, it's just a really great song. Person, so I don't really like rank songs like I said, but I had 310 songs on here, which were Soundtrack to My Life, Day and Night, and then probably my favorite was Cuddy Zone. Cuddy Zone was a
Cudi
great song.
Zone is
Yes.
I yeah, Cudi Zone's great.
Hmm.
I think
Um,
he's just really good. Like the hooks on this album are just all amazing.
yeah, the hooks
You know,
were good. There's some songs like My World where I didn't really like the song in general, but the hook was what saved it for me. Like he's pretty good at hooks, if I
I
do
can see
say.
that. I can see that.
Yeah. And then I feel like it's not really underrated because like the features with Kanye and Common, but I do feel like Make Her Say is
Make her
a
say, yeah,
yeah.
it is one of the weaker songs for me, but I still think um it's it's really catchy and it's just like a kind of a fun song. Like it's
Hmm.
cool that he has songs like Intergalactic, Make Her Say, and Higher in there. You know, they're not really like mental health songs almost, but they're kind of there to just put you in a better mood. Like I think that they work with the album, you know.
Hmm. Yeah, I think they do because for like looking at it like a commercial aspect, you can't have like the entire thing be depressing because then like with the mainstream and all that, it's not really gonna work. But I think songs like that are really good to like kind of like balance out and offset the album. And what do you think of the Lady Gaga sample?
Dude, when I first heard it, I thought it was hilarious. I think it's a super creative way to use that sample.
Yeah, it
Definitely.
really was. Yeah. Like I don't even like that Lady Gaga song a lot, but like the way he used it was really good and I
It
really
was
liked it a
really
lot.
creative.
Hmm. Um, I also really liked Sky Might Fall. It was
I
it
love
was
Sky
pretty
Might
good.
Fall.
Yeah,
Love
yeah.
Sky Might Fall. That song is definitely one of the stronger ones to make you, you know, calm. You know, like it's very
Yeah.
calming, you know.
And so going to like the two probably most popular songs from this album, Day and Night and Pursuit of Happiness, they're definitely top half for me. But it's
Oh
just kind
yeah,
of going
both
to like
definitely.
the lyrics of it and how I really like this is like these are like the two most introspective songs in my opinion for this album and what he like really went through. So just what are your takeaways from those two songs in terms of like the lyric aspects?
I love them both, and I think that you know the lyrics are obviously super introspective, and they definitely help. Like I actually prefer Day and Night, which I guess is a hot take because a lot of people I met prefer Pursuit of Happiness, which I get. You know, the instrumental is beautiful, but I think Day and Night is just it's what really put that album out there. This that whole mental health talk in music. You know, I think it really put
Mhm.
that out there for people and made it more normalized.
Yeah, that's
I
very
think
true. Yeah.
yeah,
Cause
I
then
think
he had a mixtape with Day and Night on it, and that's what kind
oh
of like
yeah,
blew up
Kid
the
named
song.
Cudi.
Yeah. And then he put it on this album and it's definitely it's top five for me in this album. So and then what are your thoughts on Pursuit of Happiness?
Oh, I love Pursuit of Happiness. Like I said, they're both amazing songs and they're both great. That they were able to get that mental health talk and rap music out there. You know, like I don't think that if we never had Cudi, I don't think that it would be that normalized. I think we would still, you know,
Mhm.
like I feel like he's one of the most important artists in rap music ever, just because of the fact that he made talking about your mental health so um what's the word like I was gonna say normalized again like you
Mhm.
know
Yeah, because obviously this album has, mental health written all over it. But also he was super instrumental in the making of 808s and Heartbreaks, which went on to go to be the most influential album, in my opinion, in history.
yeah but definitely
Yeah.
I think 808s I guess it I guess that you can say it walked so Man on the Moon could run.
Hmm.
I guess you can say. 808s kind of started it, and then Man
Hmm.
on the Moon just took it off, you
Yeah,
know?
he definitely capitalized off of that. Like he first of all his feature on Welcome to Heartbreaks def is probably is what made
Amazing
him like
feature.
what made that song top three on that album for me. It's definitely one of my favorites from that album. And
Cudi just knows how to kill a hook every
yeah.
time.
Yeah, like I remember I used to not like Cudi at all because I didn't like his voice. But then once I started getting used to it, I started like just like fall in love with this sound. And
Yeah,
it's
it's
just
what I because I didn't even like Cudi at first, to be honest, too. Like when I was first listening, his voice can be kind of like a something you got to get used to. But then like a song like Soundtrack to My Life or Up and Away, just like man, his voice is actually amazing for this, you know?
yeah, I feel you on it. So obviously his favorite album of all time, so you're gonna give it a 10.
Yeah.
Um I got it as a pretty decent nine, in my opinion, just from the first two listens and just the takeaways. I really like this album. It's really good, and I'm definitely gonna come back to it. Going on to Man on the Moon 2.
Man on the Moon 2. Also a 10 for me, of course. And it kind of just it's just like another Man on the Moon for me. It's just there are some amazing highlights on that album too. Like the Scott Miscuddy versus the World. Amazing opener. Amazing opener. CeeLo's chorus on that song is amazing. Um of course there's Mr. Rager.
It's the Rage. That's definitely my favorite song on that album.
Mr. Rager
Hmm.
took what Day and Night in Pursuit of Happiness did and just pushed it even further.
Yeah, I feel like it has a little bit more of a mainstream sound, but still has the same message, and that's what made it like really, really good for me. I will say, in my opinion, Man on the Moon 2 is less and is way it's not as consistent as Man on the Moon for me. I
Which
think
I
like
get.
the first leg from Mescudi versus the World to about Maniac, it was really hit or miss for me. Like
I can see that. Like there's Wilding because I'm young and Ashton Kutcher,
yeah.
uh,
So for
which
me,
I've grown to love, but
mhm.
I
Yeah,
can see how
Wild
they would be.
yeah, Wild because I'm young, I didn't like at all. Um, Marijuana, it's a good song, just that like it's just not for me, you know. Like
Marijuana's like top three on the album for me.
I can see it, like I can see that. I personally can see that, but just like just for me, I just really can't get with it. Don't play this when I'm like don't play this. It's cool. Just that like I feel like his vocals are what kind of did it for me because like sometimes he can be a little hit or miss for me. But I will say, Mr. Rager to maybe I've it's been really long. I can't even name a track run that long that was just that good, in my opinion. Because I remember I was kind of getting a little bit bored of the album, and then Mr. Rager came on. I was like, oh, this is good. And then he just kept that going for until the end of the album.
I think it's top three Cuddy course, definitely.
Hmm.
I don't know what it is about it, but it's just it gets stuck in your head, and it's another one of those songs that just make you feel safe.
Hmm. And These Worries, great song. I love it. I love it so much.
I think These Worries in the End are super underrated. Like
Also Ghost. Ghost is a great song.
Ghost
Ghost.
is actually bottom half of the album for me, believe it or not.
Wow.
Yeah, I think it's I don't know if it's I guess the hook isn't as strong for me, and I think the instrumental is a little like it's still a great song. Obviously, they're both tens for me. Kids See Ghost is also a 10 for me,
Hmm.
just because of what Cudi's done. But yeah, I'm pretty safe to say that Ghost is one of is on definitely on the bottom half.
Dang. All right. Yeah, it's definitely his top five for me. Just like that whole just that second half album run. Like even my favorite albums, like my favorite Kanye albums, my favorite Uzi. I don't remember a track run that's like that long that is just so consistently great. Cause like I've like for me, you got Runaway, Devil in a New Dress, So Appalled. That's a good run, but then it kind of like goes off a little bit with Hell of a Life and Blame Game. But like
Right.
this is a one, two, three, four, five, six, 7 track run. Like it's just great. I can't get enough of it. Like when I woke up, it was the first thing I listened to because it was the last thing I listened to last night. And I woke up, I was like, I need to listen to that again. It's just too good.
believe it or not, I actually prefer the top half of the album
The
more than
top.
the bottom. I get that because Ashton Kutcher is and Wild and Young is there, and Wild and Young is actually my least favorite song on the album. But I think um, Scott Miss Cudi to actually I'm gonna go to Erase Me.
Oh,
That
Erase Me is a great
that
song. Erase Me is a
cut
great
right
song.
there is probably my favorite run on the album. And
Hmm.
of course, Mr. Rage is still top three for me. They're
Oh yeah,
still
yeah.
amazing. It's still amazing throughout the whole thing for me, but I think the top half is definitely the one I prefer.
Yeah, I will say Erase Me is what kind of saved the top half for me. And also Ashton Kutcher, I like that song too. Uh so yeah, so let's go on to I haven't been able to get to the other parts of the discography, so we're gonna go to Kids See Ghosts and then we can backtrack a little bit.
All
So
right,
um also Man on the Moon 2, I have that as a 8.5 to a light 9. So
all right, that's a great
yeah,
score.
yeah.
I
Um
respect that.
yeah. So Kids See Ghosts.
Kids
Your
See
thoughts?
Go. Where do I even start with this project? And like, I think is his best. Man on the Moon's my favorite, number one. But I think when it comes to consistency and um, actually, quality, I think Kids See Ghost is his best.
Um I can see that. I could definitely see that. Personally, Kanye is tied for my favorite artist along with Uzi. So I think it's his best too because Kanye is like a little bit more in the mix there. So that's why. But Cudi, I think we see, in my opinion, peak Cudi on this album.
Oh yeah, I think Cudi outshines. I think he really just it kind of proved that he's after all the mid projects he's dropped.
Hmm.
I think really he shows that he's still got it. And I think Kanye brings out the best in every artist he works with, you know?
That is
Like
very
no,
true.
like I'm never disappointed when I see an artist featuring on a kid I mean on a Kanye West song because I know that Kanye West is going to bring the best out of him.
Hmm. Um, my favorite track, um, it used to be Fourth Dimension, but I think Reborn is now my favorite.
Reborn's my favorite, but Fourth Dimension's actually my least favorite.
Oh wow. Okay, so the reason why I love that song so much is the one line where he goes, "If I went to jail, I won't finish the sent," and then he
Yeah,
doesn't
I
finish the sentence.
I heard you talking about that on
Yeah,
the other podcast.
yeah. So that's probably why it's my favorite. But like, I was listening to Cudi, and then Reborn is become my favorite. And then Kids See, I used to not like Kids See Go, like I was like my least favorite, but then it's really grown on me. And then Cudi Montage is also probably
Yeah,
my top half
I'm
now.
really glad to hear that because Kids See Ghost is actually a criminal like the title track I mean is super underrated with what like I think it's probably top half for me. I really like the experimental esque beat.
Hmm.
Um, you know, I'm known to have weird takes when it comes to albums and stuff. So
Yeah, yeah, you cool. Like everyone has their taste, and I remember we used to be arguing a lot over like experimental music on Twitter, but like
yeah.
I've grown to like yeah, I've grown to see your point. Also Feel the Love. Just Cudi was just going crazy on the
Oh,
chorus.
just he all he had to say was I can still feel the love and
Yeah.
it's amazing. And
Hmm.
Kanye coming in with the sounds and
Yeah.
the whatever he was doing, it caught
Hmm.
me so off guard. I hated it at first. I'm like,
I
why
did
don't I just
too.
think about
Like
this like music,
hmm.
stop being so traditional.
Also Pusha T did really good on that song too.
Oh, but yeah, amazing verse from Pusha.
Yeah. Hmm. And then Fire was also a really good song. I liked Fire a lot.
Fire
It's
is super
probably
underrated for me
yeah,
too.
it's probably bottom half for me, but it's still a great song. It's still a
See,
great song.
I like it. I think it's probably top half again for me. Or Kitsy Ghost is probably like middle, like fourth
Hmm.
best.
Yeah.
And then you have the top three. And I think
Hmm.
Fire's actually top three for me, surprisingly.
I
Um,
can see any song being top three to be honest.
I love the instrumental on it, and Cuddy's
Hmm.
hums are,
Oh
the
yeah. Hmm. Yeah. Like all the instrumentals are great, and it's just a great album in my opinion. Just it's not it's a borderline 10. Like I have it as like a very strong 9. It's just not a 10 yet for me. But probably over time will become one. So going into the albums I have listened to, there's well, what albums are there?
There's Indica, Wizard, Satellite Flight. Speeding Bullet to Heaven, and Passion, Pain, and Demon Slayer.
All
Those are
right,
correct.
so let's talk about Speeding Bullet to Heaven. So from what I've heard, obviously, everyone has different opinions,
Yeah,
and
everyone.
I'm not saying his word is facts, but I watched the Fantana review. This man gave it a 0. All right, I highly doubt there's nothing good about the album. So just
Uh,
tell me what you think about it.
it's definitely his worst, and it's about a 4 or 5 for me. Um, I can respect what Cudi was going for there, but 26 songs is just way too much.
Hmm.
And I don't think that it was necessarily bad. It's like almost it's like every song felt the same to me, but I don't think it was bad. That's why I don't have it as like a 1 or 2, or I think people are over exaggerating when they say it's an awful project. Like I think it's not necessarily bad. It's just every song kind of feels like the same. But Confused is actually top 10 Cudi for me. Uh, there's some highlights. Confused and Handle with Care are the 2 highlights on that album, definitely.
Got it. Got it. Let's go to Intercut. I've heard mixed reviews, but I've also seen some very high praise for it. So, what are you thinking about it?
Most people give it around a 7 or 8, but I think that people overlook just the amount of like bangers on this album. Like especially the first half of this album. The first half of this album is crazy. You got Unfuckwittable, just going into Just What I Am, uh, Young Lady, King Wizard, Immortal, Solo Dolo Part 2 with Kendrick Lamar,
Oh,
amazing song.
there's a part 2 to Solo Dolo.
Yeah, with Kendrick Lamar
Oh,
on it.
with
It is an amazing song.
all right, I'm gonna have to check.
Girls is amazing. And then you have the next instrumental track, New York City. I think the instrumental tracks are what kind of drag it down for me.
Got it. Got
Um,
it.
and that's why I have it. I have it as a 9, a light 9.
Nah, got it.
But also the last song after, or not the last song, but the last actual like non-instrumental song afterwards, or Bring Your Friends. It's 9 minutes long, and it drags on a lot on it. But they think the chord, like the hooks on, I think these are some of his best hooks ever on this album,
All
and I
right.
think people
Okay.
overlook that. Um, Cold Blooded is an amazing song. The chorus on that is just
Got it. I'm
almost
definitely gonna have to check that one out. So you said he had a couple other projects.
yeah. He has Wizard, which is not on his main Spotify. It's on their own because it's a collab album with a producer that I
Got it.
feel bad for not remembering the name of. uh, it's more of a rock album than anything.
Got it. Got it.
Uh, and it has some top tier Cudi songs. It's around like a light 8 for me. It has some real top tier Cudi songs. Like I think Teleport to Me, Jamie, is a top 10 Cudi song and his most underrated song. It's definitely his most underrated.
Got
I
it. Got
think.
it.
Then yeah, but it's just like some of the instrumentals um just don't really work with Cudi's voice. Like I know he loves rock and he loves that genre, but I don't think his voice works with all types of that genre. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel
He
you on
obviously he
that.
has he has some good ones on there. High Off Life is an amazing song, and it's still a great album. A light A is a good score. So
Hmm. Um. All right, I want to get into some of Cudi's features because his feature game, in my opinion, is very, very good. Most of the features I've heard are from Kanye. Obviously, you got "Welcome to Heartbreak" was what made that song one of my favorites on that album. But his performance on "My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy" is
oh
very,
yeah,
very good.
Gorgeous and All the Lights.
Hmm.
All the Lights is my favorite song of My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy.
It's definitely up. It's top 3 for me. But his performance, he's just like his voice is just so dynamic. Like it's just so like different, and it's so like if you like put his voice next to like other people, I'm able to pick his voice out like so easily because it's so different, but it's also just works really, really well.
Oh yeah, it works.
Hmm.
I don't know what it is with him and Kanye songs, but Kanye just always puts him right on the right spots on songs.
Hmm. Um, Also, what was it? Father Stretch My Hands, like
Oh, you're not gonna like my take.
you like I understand if you don't like the song because I can see why people don't like the song,
Life of
but just
Pablo is my second least favorite Kanye album.
yeah, yeah.
I have it around. I have like a light 6. It's just
Ooh,
so much. just so much filler in mid to me. And even
I can
Father Stretch My Hands
understand.
Part One, I don't even like. It's my least favorite Cudi feature on a Kanye
Really,
song. Yeah,
I feel like
um,
it's his most like one of his most iconic.
it is, and that's what I'm. That's why I feel bad for not liking it, but I can never get through a full listen of The Life of Pablo.
Yeah, I feel like he definitely washed Kanye on that feature. In my opinion, he definitely had the better part of that because I go to
Oh
that song.
yeah, even I think that. I just don't think the song's that great. There's very little songs on The Life of, like, I'm not saying it's bad. It's mostly mid. That's why it kind of is at a
Mhm,
light six. That is still a positive score.
yeah.
But
Also,
I just think there's a lot of mid on
yeah.
it.
Also with it's not really a feature, but he's just on it with waves. Like he's not even on it. He's just humming on it. But like it makes it so much better.
Yeah, all you got, like, even just adding, Cudi could make a song better with just hums. Like Stop Trying to Be God with Travis Scott.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Um, just the humming on the chorus is just beautiful.
Yeah, it's just he's just great. Yeah, I've grown to really because I remember when I first heard him, I didn't like him at all. But like over the time, I've grown to respect him a lot, and now he's really gained my respect a lot. Um, couple months ago, it was either a month ago, he announced Man on the Moon 3. How are you feeling?
Oh, I'm so excited. I've come to the terms with the fact that it's probably going to be the worst Man on the Moon, but I'm also super excited just because I know there's going to be some amazing songs on there. And I know I feel like it's probably gonna be somewhere between an 8 and a 9, especially with me because I'm biased.
Hmm.
So I definitely think it will be good. And I've been waiting for it for so long. When I got my Man on the Moon 2 vinyl, it said on the back the trilogy.
Hmm.
I was like, where's the third one at? I looked it up. There's no third one. I'm like, am I missing something? And then he announced
Hmm.
it. I'm like, I'm like, I'm super excited now.
Yeah. To be honest, obviously you always whenever your favorite artist or even any artist makes a project, you want it to be very good. Like you don't want to listen to like bad music. But I have a feeling it could be the best Man on the Moon because he's coming off
Really.
of Kids See Ghost,
He
and
is
that was
coming
a
off of
great
Kissy
album.
Ghost, and that was an amazing album.
Hmm. And then if he can ride that, I feel like it can be the best one. Because for me, um, he's like he's come off of, in my opinion, his peak in terms of like his best, um, and also he's displayed he can be like very good with the first two Man of the Moons. Just that for me, it's his consistency. Because if he can take the highs off of Man of the Moon 2 for me and make it as consistent as Man of the Moon, that's a 10. That's an easy 10, in my opinion.
Mm.
Yeah.
That see where you're coming from. That's actually really cool. I'm hoping it's his best. It'd be cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, anything else you want to talk about Cudi? Just like his impact and things like that?
Uh, we still got two more albums to go for, and I would like to get
Oh,
into
okay.
my favorite feature from him.
All right, okay. You can go into those.
We'll start with Satellite Flight. His second worst. Right after Being Bold to Heaven. Really great highlights on here, but there are some really low points too. Um, I actually really dislike Balmain Jeans, and the instrumental tracks on this album aren't great either. And Trouble Boy isn't that good either. But you have the highs. Going to the Ceremony, top 10 Cudi for me. Love that song. And Too Bad I Have to Destroy You Now is usually the favorite off the album. Also an amazing song.
Got you.
Eternal
Got you.
Bleeding's cool too. And then Passion Pain Demon Slaying definitely can be one of his most tedious ones to get through
Hmm.
at an hour and 27 minutes. Uh, but I think it's super consistent the whole way through. And there's only one song I don't like on that album, and that's The Guide, uh, featuring Andre 3000, believe it or not.
Got it. Got it.
I
Yeah, I
think
do feel
Kanye does,
like.
not Kanye, Kid Cudi does this weird thing with breathing in that song. He goes, like after every bar,
Hmm.
and it's really off-putting for me.
Yeah, I feel like he does make longer albums than I'm used to because I'm used like I started out as a trap head where like everything I listened to was either turn up or just had a trap beat. And most of those albums are pretty short, like 40 minutes to like maybe an hour if you're pushing it. But I feel like he's definitely great enough to get to have an album over an hour because the songs are just good. Like he
Yeah,
just has
like
great
I mean, it
songs.
has some amazing songs. Kitchen is really good. Um, Does It is super underrated. One of my favorites on there. Uh, and then The Commander is my favorite. That one really feels like it came from a Man on the Moon album,
Hmm.
and it actually has this almost very similar to refrain to Heart of the Lion. Like the no no no
Oh yeah,
no.
Heart of the Lion is definitely probably one of my favorite Cudi songs.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
top definitely like top five for me on Man on the Moon. And then my
yeah, yeah.
favorite feature is actually On My Own by Jaden.
I actually
Uh,
haven't heard that song.
you got dude Kid Cudi's chorus on that song. It's like super uplifting, super motivating almost. A very very good song. That's my favorite Cudi feature.
Got you, got you. What album's that off of for Jaden?
Aries.
Got it, got it, got it. Um, so anything else on Cudi's impact and other things you like about him?
I don't know if there's anything else really. I think that his discog is super underrated. With how I think people definitely overhate some of his albums, like Satellite Flight. I think people overlook some of the high points on Satellite Flight and even Passion Pain and Demon Slain. Uh, there are so many great songs on the album. Uh, Phenomenal songs.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to check out the rest of his discography because I really loved Man on the Moon and Man on the Moon 2. And then obviously I already like his Sea Ghost, so I'm gonna check out the rest of it. Um, and obviously he was really influential because I mean
Oh yeah,
he was.
I think that we wouldn't have the same mental health talk in music
Mhm,
today without him. You know.
yeah, like people like Trippy, Juice, X. I don't think they have anywhere close to the impact that they had without Cudi because
Yeah,
all they
I
yeah.
think that not only has Cudi saved a lot of people with his own music, but normalizing that talk in music has allowed other artists like Juice and X to save more people with their music, you know?
Hmm.
It's like an ongoing thing. I
Yeah.
think he's the one that started it. People have took it and made it, even better.
Hmm. Also, you also I don't know if you've heard the interview, but personally, my top three favorite artists, Travis. Travis has said himself that Cudi's music saved his life. So, which is obviously I'm very
Oh
thankful
yeah,
because he's like my third favorite artist. But yeah,
Travis and Travis. I think Cudi is like Travis' like main influence almost, and you can kind of hear it in their music. Both have
oh
very
yeah,
psychedelic type sounding music.
hmm
Um, Travis is one of my favorite artists too. My favorite trap artist right now. With
hmm
Whole Lot of Red, it could become Cardi, but
yeah. Personally, I mean, obviously I'm biased. Uzi's my favorite, but Travis is a really close second, and then Cardi is. I feel like Whole Lotta Red. I don't think Cardi has a better has. Cardi has 210s, and I think Uzi has 210s, and I feel like that with Whole Lotta Red, I feel like it could has the potential to be better than both
it
Uzi
could either
albums
be
that
his
are tens.
best or it could be his worst. Definitely. With the snippets, it's looking to be his best.
Hmm.
Uh, Self-titled is a 10 for me. Dilate is a 9 for me, and then for Uzi, Love versus the World is a 10 for me, and then
Got it.
uh, I think he has like two nines with Perfect Love Tape and Love Is Rage too.
Yeah, I can see. Yeah, I can see. I have Lovers Race 2 as a 10. Um, anyways, so yeah, thank you for coming on, Dev. I
No
really
problem.
appreciated
I had a
you.
lot of fun.
Yeah. Thank you all for watching. Make sure you subscribe, like, leave a comment. I got the socials down below for both me and Dev. Make sure you check us both out. And thank you for coming. This was the Hype Hip Hop Hazecast, and see you guys later.